There's a reason movie lovers everywhere still talk about that boulder scene. When it comes to movies with great opening scenes, only a rare few are so iconic that they've been endlessly parodied and referenced across the entertainment world. One of the most spoofed, celebrated, and instantly recognizable comes from 1981's Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark. Once again, my wonderful audience, I'm back to review another opening scene as part of my ongoing quest to uncover the greatest intros in movies, TV shows, and video games. This time, we're diving into Steven Spielberg's adventurous masterpiece, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Now, not all Indiana Jones films are created equal, some soar far higher than others, but there's no denying this franchise has earned its place in the Cinematic Hall of Fame. And while Raiders is arguably the crown jewel of them all, our mission today isn't to review the whole film, but to see if its opening scene earns a spot amongst the greatest of all time. As always, we'll be breaking things down into 3 categories, which are the music and sound, the storytelling, and how captivating as a whole the intro is. We'll give each of these categories a score out of 10, then average these scores out to get a final result. And if there's something extra special or negative about this opening scene that just doesn't fit into any of these categories, we will be applying bonus or penalty points as well. So make yourself comfortable, forget your troubles, and get ready for another adventurous Too True SMEG review. When it comes to the music of this opening scene, we have none other than the legend of musical scores, John Williams, joining us. It's no debate that whatever John Williams touches, he turns it into an unforgettable masterpiece. Jaws, Jurassic Park, Star Wars, need I say more? Indiana Jones is yet another iconic film score. The movie has that going for it. However, while the entire score from this movie is fantastic, and the main theme is so iconic and motivating, we don't get to experience the full experience of the movie's score in this opening scene. The movie opens up with a mysterious and dangerous musical tone, fitting for the situation our hero is in as he navigates the dangers of betrayal and the booby-trapped corridors. And as things start to quickly go south, the beat picks up, the music becomes more intense, and we feel suspense as Indiana tries to pull himself to safety or outrun this boulder. Several minutes later, as Indiana is running frantically away from these natives chasing him down, we are treated with a more light-hearted tone which complements the humor of the pilot debating between keeping his finely caught fish or starting the plane, as well as Indiana comically fleeing for his life. It isn't until Indiana swings on the vine and takes to the skies that we get just a slight tease of the iconic Indiana Jones theme song. So while the overall track of the movie is great, especially when it comes to the main theme, this intro doesn't really display the full musical potential of the films. Aside from the tease at the end of this intro, the rest of the music is actually a bit bland and forgettable. Had the main theme not poked its head out at the end of this intro, our score would have been quite low, but thankfully that isn't the case, so the score we'll be giving for music for the intro is 6 out of 10. Now, let's talk about the storytelling. What exactly are we looking for in this category? Mostly, it's whether there's a logical story being told that's interesting enough to follow, and whether it motivates us to see what the rest of the film has in store. The opening here checks both boxes beautifully. We're immediately thrown into a world where a mysterious figure with a commanding presence navigates a terrifying, trap-filled cave in search of a golden idol. Booby traps are everywhere, he's betrayed not once but twice, and is chased by an angry group of natives, yet aside from his reaction to the snake, he handles all of it with fearless heroism. Right away, we know a lot about our protagonist. He's brave in the face of danger, skilled with a whip, and smart enough to dodge death at every turn. On top of that, this whole ancient ruined treasure hunt taps into something most of us acted out as kids. Pretending to be explorers, dodging traps, and discovering treasure. It hits that inner child and adventurer in all of us. We also get some important plot seeds planted early on. Indy has competition, and in the end, he's actually outdone by one of his rivals, a thread that will come back into play later on in the movie. If I had to nitpick anything, it's that the entire sequence in this opening scene almost feels like its own self-contained mini-movie. We get the setup, the danger, the betrayal, the chase, and the resolution all in a few minutes. For someone who's never seen Indiana Jones before, it might feel like they've already gotten a full adventure before the real story even begins. It's not a huge problem. If anything, it's a testament to how tightly packed and exciting this scene is, but it does flirt a bit with feeling like a standalone short story rather than the opening chapter of a much larger, unrelated tale. So in conclusion, the score we will give for storytelling is 9.5 out of 10. And lastly, let's talk about how captivating this intro is overall. I'll get straight to the point. The first 3 minutes are kind of boring. There's very little to keep us hooked. It's not until one of Indy's companions turns on him that we feel that jolt of excitement. But even then, it's short-lived as we go back to watching Indy wander through the jungle. Honestly, those first 4 minutes are probably a 2 out of 10 if we're being brutally honest. However, once Indy finally enters the cave, it's a whole different story. Suddenly the tension is palpable. Deadly spikes, a giant pit to cross, hidden pressure plates, this idiot, that other idiot, and of course, the boulder. For the next 8 minutes, it's pure adventure. We're fully locked in, soaking up every second. Even when the action pauses and Indy shares a brief dialogue with his rival, it feels perfectly timed. A chance to catch our breath and piece together who this other guy is and how Indy ended up here. Then, before we can relax too much, we're thrown back into danger again, watching our hero try to escape yet another deadly situation. Considering both the sluggish opening and the non-stop excitement that follows, we're giving the captivation score an 8 out of 10. So in conclusion, when we add all these scores up, we get a total of 23.5 out of 30, which averages out to 7.83 out of 10. I was tempted to throw in a few penalty points for some of the cheesier moments, like this guy freaking out over pretty much nothing, or booby traps that would have been flat out impossible to create with the technology of the time, but honestly, those were par for the course in the movies back then. It's easy to poke fun now, but they were part of the charm of that era, so I decided to let it slide. My final thoughts here. I've always enjoyed this opening scene, especially when I was younger. Watching Indiana Jones tackle danger after danger like it was just another day at the office was beyond cool. As I've gotten older and pickier with my movies, I still think it's a great intro, but I can't help noticing these cheesy factors and wildly unrealistic moments, not just in the opening scene, but throughout the entire film. Still, for an adventure movie, it's a fantastic way to kick things off, just maybe not the most grounded. Well, there you have it, a full review of the opening scene to Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark. If you enjoyed or even hated this review, feel free to leave a like or even a dislike. Got a review you want to see in the future? Drop it in the comments and we will add that to the list. And of course, if you enjoy this kind of content or my ranking videos, go ahead and subscribe so you'll be notified when a new one drops. And once again, thank you for all the support and for sticking around for another Too True SMEG review. Until next time.